This is the front page of today's Dawn, 25 December 2021. Border spat with Taliban resolved official by Bakr Sajjad Syed, 25 December 2021. Islamabad, Pakistan and Afghan Taliban authorities have overcome the recent row over border fencing by agreeing that further fencing would be done through consensus, a senior official said on Friday. The official who spoke to a group of journalists on the background said, "It has been decided at a senior level that fencing-related issues would in future be dealt with through mutual agreement." The official, however, did not exactly specify at which level the talks between Pakistan and de facto Afghan government were held after witness incident in which Taliban fighters disrupted the border fencing and took away spools of barbed wire. The fighters had then also warned Pakistan soldiers against resuming fencing. The incident led to a tense situation in the area where it occurred. Defense ministries of the two sides later held talks on the issue. Taliban Ministry of Border and Tribal Affairs also reportedly took part in the parleys. The official said Taliban Defense Minister Mullah Yaqub visited the area on Wednesday and diffused the situation. The dispute has been quietly and calmly settled, he maintained. Pakistan has been fencing the 2,600-kilometer-long border with Afghanistan since 2017 to end terrorist infiltration and smuggling despite very intense opposition from Afghanistan. Besides erection of fence, the project also includes the construction of border posts and forts and raising of new wings of frontier corps, the parliamentary force that guards the border. The official said 90% of the fencing had been completed. A large part of the fence has been constructed in inhospitable terrain and in some places at very high altitudes. The fencing is expected to be completed at a cost of about $500 million. Fencing has been a contentious issue in Pakistan. Pakistan-Afghanistan ties between the Afghans dispute the border determination done during the colonial period. Pakistan, however, insists that the line separating the two countries, also called Durand Line, is the valid international border. The differences over the status of the border have been so intense that they have in the past resulted in several battle clashes between the troops of the two countries. Moreover, Pakistani construction teams installing the fence have on a number of occasions endured cross-border attacks by terrorists. Islamabad had always hoped that Afghan Taliban would help in settling the long-standing matter. However, that has not been the case. Taliban did not resolve the issue when they were in control of Afghanistan from 1996 to 2001 and have not done anything substantive to address it this time either so far. Taliban spokesman Zabiullah Mujahid, who is currently the acting culture and information minister, had in an interview days after the takeover of Kabul by the group in Afghanistan rejected the fencing of the border by Pakistan. The Afghans are unhappy and oppose the fencing. The fencing has separated people and divided families, he had said. The official at the background briefing downplayed Taliban's opposition to the fencing project. Fence is a reality. Nearly 90% of it has been installed. Not agreeing with it is not an option, he emphasized. Talks with TTP, responding to a question about talks with the banned Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan TTP, which were being held in Afghanistan through Afghan Taliban's facilitation. The official said the dialogue is still continuing despite the TTP's announcement about not extending the ceasefire. The talks are continuing and an effort is being made to reach a settlement. There are differences over TTP's demand for release of prisoners. The dialogue has, however, not reached a dead end, he maintained. The TTP had on December 9 refused to extend the months-long ceasefire after accusing Pakistan authorities of not fulfilling their commitments. The peace ceasefire had begun on November 9 after initial progress in talks, and it had largely held. The TTP resumed attacks soon after ending the truce. The officials sounded a bit disappointed with the Afghan Taliban on the TTP issue. They have always asserted that they would not allow the use of Afghan soil against Pakistan, but practically we have seen no action, he regretted. PTI's organizational structure dissolved after LG poll setback by Syed Irfan Chaza, 25 December 2021. Islamabad, and just a few days after the shocking defeat of the ruling Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf PTI in the local government elections in its stronghold of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, Prime Minister Imran Khan on Friday dissolved the party's organizational structure across the country. During a meeting with senior PTI leaders, Prime Minister Khan constituted a 21-member committee to form a new structure of the party organizations. The Prime Minister dissolved the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf's all organizations from center to Tehsil level across the country after consultation with the senior leadership of the party, announced the Information Minister Fawad Chaudhry at a press conference. He said all the office bearers of the PTI's organizational setup had been removed from their posts. The minister said the meeting had decided that a special committee would be formed to look into the matter of giving tickets to relatives of PTI leaders, and in future such cases would not be decided at the local level. Rather, they would be sent to the committee for a final decision. Mr. Chaudhry said the KP Chief Minister Mahmood Khan had been given responsibility for the second phase of local bodies elections in KP, and a ticketing mechanism for the elections that would be set up with the approval of the Prime Minister. The decision on tickets for local government elections in Punjab would come to a committee comprising PTI's senior members, he said, adding that the committee would decide the candidates at the central level so that no issues such as resentment came up at the local level. The minister said the meeting discussed the KP's local government elections and the gender situation of the country. He said a 21-member constitutional committee comprising the national PTI leadership had been formed, which was working on the new constitution of the party. The committee comprises Pervez Khattak, Mahmood Khan, Murad Said, Asad Kassar, Ali Amin Gandapur from KP, and Fawad Chaudhry, Shah Mahmood Qureshi, Hamad Azhar, Khusro Bakhtiar, Chaudhry Muhammad Sarwar, Saifullah Niazi, Amir Khiani, and Sardar Usman Bazzar from Punjab. Mir Jan Mahmood Jamali and Qasim Suri would represent Balochistan, while Imran Ismail and Ali Sadi from Sindh and Asad Umar from the federal capital are part of the committee. Mr. Chaudhry said, after the approval of the committee comprising senior members, new organizations of the PTI would be constituted. A day after the first phase of local government polls in the KP, in which Jamiatul Ulama Islam Fazl and JUIF clinched the most of top slots, Prime Minister Khan had expressed displeasure and grilled KP Chief Minister Mahmood Khan on the party's defeat. Mr. Khan had blamed the selection of wrong candidates for the defeat in the first phase of the local government elections in KP province. Selection of wrong candidates was a major cause, however, in the second phase of LG local government polls. PTI would bounce back with the strength he had announced. He also had claimed that he would himself monitor all local government polls and to be held in the country in future. Mr. Chaudhry told the presser that the PTI was still the largest political party in Pakistan, whereas Mr. Khan was the leader of the federation and his vote bank was present everywhere from Gwadar to Khyber and from Karachi to Lahore. No party other than the PTI is capable of fielding candidates for 1,100 to 1,200 seats of the national and provincial assemblies in the general elections. The PPP is now the party of Sindh, whereas the PMLN is confined to Punjab only, he added. As member of PTI, we have to fulfill responsibilities of the federation diligently, considering them as national responsibilities, he maintained. If PTI's politics is affected, it would affect the politics of Pakistan badly, he believed. The minister told the media that Prime Minister Khan had expressed dissatisfaction over the PTI performance in the first phase of local body elections in the KP. He said that there was no concept of family politics in his party, as Mr. Khan never allowed personal relationships to dominate in his political career. If the culture of PPP and PMLN comes to the PTI, there will be no difference between them and us, he remarked. The minister said that Mr. Khan expressed displeasure over the distribution of party tickets, against which many complaints had been received. The way the PTI should have played its role as a major party was not witnessed in the KP's local body elections, he added. Not a personal bill of PTI, PDP, PTI replying to the question. Mr. Chaudhry. Mr. Chaudhry said the finance bill was not a personal bill of the PTI, and if the opposition did not want the government to go to the International Monetary Fund program, they should come up with an alternative solution. He recalled the billions of dollars that had been borrowed by the past regimes of the PPP and PMLN, which had to be paid back by the present government. If they have any alternative proposal or agenda, and they should bring it in the parliament, the minister suggested unto the opposition parties. Quiet's birth anniversary being celebrated today, 25th December 2021. Islamabad, the nation is celebrating the 145th birth anniversary of the founder of Pakistan, Quaid Muhammad Ali Jinnah, on such a day today with a traditional zeal and fervor. Various activities will be held in government and private organizations to shed light on the Qaid's lifelong political struggle and his guiding principles of unity, faith, and discipline. Mr. Jinnah was born on December 25, 1876 in Karachi. The day is a public holiday and the national flag will be hoisted on principal government buildings throughout the country. The day will start with special prayers for the security, progress, and prosperity of the country. Quran Khani will be held at the Mazar-e-Qaid in Karachi, while a change of guards ceremony will also take place. A larger number of people from all walks of life are expected to visit the mausoleum to pay tribute to Mr. Jinnah for the services he rendered for creating a separate homeland for the Muslims of the subcontinent. To mark the day, Pakistan National Council of the Arts will organize various cultural events. A painting exhibition, tableau, and the speech competition will also be organized with the aim of educating the youth about the Qaid's vision and his ideology of Pakistan. An official of the Pakistan Academy of Letters said that the Quaid-e-Azam National Seminar would be arranged to highlight the Qaid's efforts for the supremacy of the law. The Nazariya Pakistan Council has also arranged week-long programs to mark the day. Mr. Jinnah was a lawyer by profession and a politician. He served as the leader of All India Muslim League from 1913 until Pakistan's independence on August 14, 1947, and then as Pakistan's first Governor General until his death on September 1948 APP. Progress to use EVMs on Right Track, ECP, Election Commission of Pakistan, by Iftikhar A. Khan, 25 December 2021. Islamabad, days after an official of the Election Commission of Pakistan, ECP, said he was not sure whether the electronic voting machine, EVMs, would be used in the next general elections. The ECP clarified that it was not neglecting its duties on deploying voting machines during the polls. In a statement issued on Friday, the ECP spokesman said the commission had been working on the putting into use technology even before legislation was carried out on EVMs, adding that after the law was passed, it formed 3 committees which were performing their tasks and had apprised the ECP of their work. The statement said procurement of EVMs involved many steps, including designing of scope of work for automation of electoral process, finalization of general requirement and specifications, preparation of technical specifications as per international standards, identification of required function, features, and the business process flows to handle EVM, preparation of vendor and platform neutral request for proposal RFP. It further said that the commission also had to consider selection of the best evaluated bids, award of contract, manufacturing of EVM, setting up of testing and certification labs, and engaging third-party consultants. The spokesperson said arrangements also had to be made for customized and secure warehouses to store EVMs and 200,000 to 350,000 SFT, safe and secure transportation of voting machines, hiring of a technical human resource for managing EVMs, the configuration and deployment of machines, training of staff, and poll day support and maintenance. He said the Election Commission of Pakistan ECP was ensuring that tendering was not vendor specific and a third party testing was carried out to ascertain if the machines could be used for conducting free and fair elections. He said certain individuals having no clarity on EVMs were making baseless statements which amounted to misleading people, civil society and media, and warned against meddling in the affairs of the ECP and attempting to pressurize it. He reiterated that the commission would continue discharging its constitutional and legal responsibilities. Meanwhile, Chief Election Commission CEC Sikandar Raja has taken strong notice of the attack on the District Election Commissioner's office in Momand. The Chief Election Commission CEC directed the Election Commission Secretary to act against those involved in the attack and award punishment as per law. At this, the Election Commission of Pakistan ECP Secretary established a telephonic contact with the Inspector General of Police, Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and passed on the Chief Election Commission's CEC's directions, who assured him of taking strict action against the culprits. According to an official, the District Election Commissioner had complained that MPA Nisar Ahmad Muhammad of Awami National Party had stormed into the office twice in one day, incited his workers to target the office, and hurled threats at the Election Commission staffers. The Election Commission of Pakistan ECP had earlier issued notices to Khyber Pakhtunkhwa Minister for Transport Shah Muhammad Khan, as well as his brother and son, in connection with violence at a polling station in Bannu.